There's a reason that relationships feel like the pressure point right now. And it's not random and it's not just personal. It's not something you've done. Well, maybe not totally. For years, especially with Neptune in Pisces, many relationships were held together by hope, by potential, and emotional narratives rather than the actual truth. Stayed in these confusing dynamics, excused inconsistency, or took emotional labor on because it felt familiar and it felt safe. Now that Neptune is moving into Aries, that changes the entire relational landscape. Aries energy doesn't tolerate vagueness. It brings instinct, it brings clarity, and boundaries back online. People are trusting what they see and what they feel, what is tangible and is real. They are doing that again instead of explaining it away. There's no more rationalization, and the wool has been pulled off of our eyes. And you see, Saturn has a big part in that too. Saturn loves boundaries, and it's out there finishing up its 30-year cycle of coming back to Pisces. It's been there for 2 years. And as it has, it's been bringing sobriety to relationships. It's been ripping the wool off of the eyes. It's asking, where were you carrying more than your share? Where were you confusing compassion with self-abandonment? And of course, Saturn, as it moves into Aries, where it hasn't been for 30 years, relationships are being reset around responsibility, boundaries, and mutual effort. And of course, we can't have major transformation and changes without our good friend Pluto. Out there in Aquarius is exposing power imbalances, especially dynamics where one person carried the emotional weight and the emotional load while the other benefited from it. Uranus also has a big part in coming in there and saying, this doesn't work anymore. I'm going to give you a couple chances to figure it out on your own and realize how this works for you and how it doesn't. And if you don't make those changes, Uranus has a way of making them change for us. And sometimes unexpectedly. Well, maybe not sometimes. Uranus has a way of always doing things in an unexpected way. Now that Uranus is moving into Gemini, where it hasn't been for 80 years, it's triggering a lot inside of us. And it's triggering sudden realizations. Remember, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the planet of the conscious mind, and how we think and how we communicate. So having Uranus moving into the sign is really going to bring in those aha moments, those realizations. It's going to usher in those hard conversations and the mental wake-up calls. People are saying things out loud that they used to just stuff down in and swallow it whole. And then there's Jupiter, bringing in some luck and opportunity and expansion where we didn't have any hope before. And Jupiter roles here is important too. Jupiter has been in Cancer since mid-2025. And as it's gone through there, working in its 12-year cycle where it hasn't been there, it's really helping to surface a lot of buried things that we have inside of ourselves. It surfaced inherited relationship patterns, things that you have learned from observing your own family and their relationship dynamics. It's exposed loyalty at all costs, staying just because you need to be, those old belief systems that I got to keep the family together, staying because we've got to build history together, even though it's not right. See, Cancer loves comfort zones, and Jupiter wants to move us out of it. And as it's been going through there, it's exposed those things. And as it moves into Leo in June, the question becomes, are you choosing this because it aligns with your heart, Leo, or because it feels familiar? What's breaking right now isn't love, it's survival-based relating. The relationships that last are the ones that can meet clarity, that can bring the honesty and the emotional responsibility that is shared by both partners. And the ones that don't, they were never meant to come into this next chapter for you. Love is definitely a tricky thing, but with these astrological alignments this year, there's going to be a lot more clarity and a lot of communication around getting our needs said and met and aligning so that these relationships aren't a matter of repressing and justifying away the things It's about finding balance, and it's finding harmony, and it's finding a way to step into relationships that are fulfilling for you on all different levels.